Hey everyone, welcome back to another video. Today we are going to be reviewing one of my most favorite pieces of film gear as of late, and you can actually see it in this video currently as I speak. Even though my windows are right over there, this is actually not real sunlight coming through this window. Let me show you. Okay, so the actual piece of gear is right here. This is the Amaran Spotlight SE. Here it is. As you can see, it is kind of just a giant lens that goes on the front of a light. This is a spotlight mount, so as you can kind of see through here, you can actually see me in it. It's basically just focusing the light directly into this focusable beam that will by itself just project a kind of a circle spotlight on whatever you're shining it on. So the build of this is actually really solid. It feels like a metal. It must be aluminum or something. Everything is really quality for the price. It's also super small and portable. The spotlight mount itself comes in weighing 4.29 pounds, which isn't bad in combination with a 60 watt mini light. So for instance, I use the Nanlite 60B with this. It has an adapter that allows me to do the Bowens mount to the mini Bowens mount that it has. So I find that combining those two is a very great combination. It's a super small form factor that I don't necessarily need a hefty C-stand for, that I actually have found that I can just use a normal light stand and it does the trick. It's small enough that I can pack it and all of its accessories in a Pelican, and I just have a dedicated Pelican for my 60B and this and the accessories, and I just take that to set with me. And the amount of times that I've ended up needing to pull it out is actually crazy. In the box, it comes with these things called gobos. I'll show you a couple here. If you don't know what a gobo is one of these little filters that goes into this little socket right here for the light. You kind of put it in here like this and then turn it however you want. I typically would just leave it like this. And then it slides directly into a socket right here in the light. And then from there, it'll project that image onto whatever surface or background that you'd like. It also has a focus point. Depending on how far away the subject is, you can make it in focus or out of focus. So some of my favorite gobos personally that I find myself often using on set are this one, which is the Venetian blind. It just seems really natural, and this is the one that you will often see me using on my set for this video. I find that it looks really natural, especially playing off of the actual windows I have behind me. You can kind of make it seem like this is actually the sun coming through those windows. I also really like this other thing of windows here. It's just like kind of window panes. If you push it further back and put it at an angle, it really looks cool, like kind of leading lines going to it. This is another one I really like. It basically makes it look like trees or branches are behind the subject. This one in particular, I don't actually use in focus. I like to throw this one slightly out of focus, so it just kind of looks like cool patterns or more realistic trees coming through a window or something like that. Along with some of the other ones that it comes with, I honestly feel like they might be better as far as an interview background if you throw them out of focus more so than leaving them tack sharp. It is important to note that these are not standard gobo sizes that you could buy from other stores. These are what they call M-size gobos, so they're a little bit smaller, but I do believe they sell extra ones of these that are different shapes and do different effects. I do believe the perfect match for this would be the Amaran 300 series or the 60. I don't have any Amaran products, sadly. I'm rocking the Nanlites right now, but it works perfectly with those as well. So if you have any sort of Bowens mount light, it's going to work. My only caution that I would throw your way is that it is only rated to up to 300 watt lights. So anything above that, I would be very wary of. I don't think it's going to hurt anything, but I will say that these gobos, when you're replacing them, get super, super hot, like crazy hot when you're using a 300 watt light. So I would honestly not recommend using it with anything over 300, because 300 even gets pretty hot at 100%. So be careful, don't hurt yourself. So one of my favorite use cases for this thing is for interviews. I film a lot of interviews. That's mostly what I do these days. So being able to mount this on a small light just as like a kicker to give some texture to the background is really huge. Oftentimes You can't always have the most ideal, beautiful looking space for your interviews if you're working with a company. Sometimes you find yourself just working with what you got. So I love to use this thing on more mundane spaces that just need a little bit of more spice to add into the background. Kind of like this space, I have this whole thing of doors here. I have some stuff there now, but just to kind of liven up this kind of dead space with the door here, having this thing really helps, I feel. So if you're in a scenario where you are kind of in a boring space and really want something to help liven it up a little bit, make it feel more enriched and vibrant, this thing would be really great for that. So I bought this for about $335 on Amazon. Not so bad for what it does and how it brings your interviews and images to life. And I do believe it is more affordable than the aputure, like larger version. Another item that's sold separately that I recently purchased is this 18-leaf iris control. Basically works the same as like a lens iris, has this lever that you can pull to focus the beam even tighter if you're doing product shots or something where you need a very specific point of light that you want to shoot through. So it's nice to have. I have not personally used this yet on set, but I could definitely see it being a thing that I need. So I went ahead and purchased it. Doesn't hurt to have. This will run you about 50 bucks on Amazon. So not too bad. It definitely depends on if you think you could use it. I thought I could use it, haven't used it yet, but I could see myself using it in the future. The only thing I have noticed with this that is a downside is the chromatic abrasion that happens. The glass is not super perfect and crisp all the time. It tends to, if you're out of focus slightly, create sort of like a splitting effect of the color, but it's really not that noticeable in the background of a scene. It's mostly just when it's super in focus on camera and with the lens that you can notice it. Another downside with this is the focusing mechanism. You have to basically just grab this and pull it to get it in focus, which I personally don't really love. That's probably how they cut down on the cost. I know on other ones, like this knob would just be a focus ring basically and allow you to do micro adjustments. But on this, you kind of just have to grab it and put it in place. And even then when you do that, when you go to tighten it to put it in place, it wiggles and moves a lot. So sometimes you have to like anticipate where the focus is going to land as you're focusing it. So that is a major downside, but kind of comes with the territory when you're buying a slightly more prosumer product. So at the end of the day, who is this Amaran Spotlight SE for? I think it's for somebody who does a lot of interview work or short films, who is looking to make their shots a little bit more interesting in particularly non-interesting places. I think this really succeeds in that, and for the price, I think it's great. I have absolutely zero regrets on buying this. I take it with me on every single shoot, even if I'm not sure if I'm going to use it or not, just because you never ever know the use case for it. This is not sponsored, by the way, by any means, although I wish it was. That'd be sick. Amaran, hit me up. But I will leave a product link just to Amazon for both the spotlight mount and the 18-leaf iris in case you're interested, just so make it a little easier if you're looking it up. So with that being said, thank you so much for joining me on this review of the Amaran Spotlight SE. I love a good accent light, so let me know in the comments what your favorite accent light is and how you like to use it on set, and hope to see you in the future for even more unboxings and product reviews. Bye.